All right, and for our next act, we're going to do the worst of episode of Fringe. I've got the listing here for you guys. It's the super frowny face, double thumbs down. It is season 2, episode 20, which doesn't make it a finale, but close.
But it's also 4 episodes away from the best of,
which is really weird. Brown Betty.
Yeah, I think it's the closest we've ever had.
It might be
of episodes of best of and worst of.
I have to go back and check because I feel like another one was close, but this might be the closest. I have them on the blotter in front of me, but I don't see it. Psych wasn't as close as I thought it was, so maybe it was Eureka. Might have been fairly close. I don't remember. So you guys know the rules from last time, but real quick, we've switched over from episode.ninja over to imdb.com's fan or audience reviews, whatever they're called. We take a peek at what you guys have already rated to be the highest and lowest rated episodes of a show. We might have seen it, we might not have. We're just interested in what people thought of those episodes, and now we're curious and we wanted to see them for ourselves. So we're going to check them out and discuss. We've already done the best of Fringe. This is the worst of, and I'd like to get King Z's take on the worst episode, Brown Betty.
So if you don't know Fringe, I would suggest going back to our previous review of the best of and find out what Fringe is all about. We're just going to talk about the worst of here. Yep. So Brown Betty starts off with Dr. Bishop getting high as a kite.
High on his own supply.
Pretty much his own supply that he created, which was a mixture of marijuana, some black tar heroin, and maybe a few little ketamine. There was ketamine.
I don't know what he was doing. He was basing something.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
Coming straight out of a bong.
Whew.
So
all up in his face.
Yeah, that's how it all starts. And then they realize he has to babysit a kid. So he tells the kid a story about someone stealing his heart. A mechanical heart was actually his son's heart. And they both need a heart, but it still runs on batteries like Iron Man.
And you can break it in half and it's still
break it in half and it still works. And once again, it's also a musical. So if you remember from our Psych episode, the worst episode by Ninja or the episode.ninja, the musical was voted the worst one. And once again, we're here on a different side and a musical episode gets voted the worst again.
Yeah. Dude, you know what the difference was between the worst of Psych and the worst of Fringe? Is this musical is fucking terrible.
Yeah, I was going to say that the Psych one's actually fun and it goes with what the characters' dynamics are, where this one is just kind of thrown in there.
I have no idea what happened in this episode other than maybe they all accidentally got high while they were making this in real life. Like
the writers did. The writers did 100%.
Dude, this is the first time. What is this? This is like best of worst of what, 6, 7? We've done almost 10 of these, right? I can clearly see why this is the worst episode of this show. It's not even close. And believe it or not, it's not even because it's a musical, because they really only go into like musical riffs like 3 times for like 15 seconds. Like Psych is a legit musical episode. They have entire choreographed dance routines that feature lyrics, like you said, that are advancing the plot, revealing character, and being.
But it also stays true to the character.
Right. It's all legit musical theater. In this, it's like they get the one character, I didn't even catch her name. She's Dr. Bishop's assistant, but in the story world, she's applying for a job at a mental hospital, and the song is just the repetition. I really need this job. I need this job today. I really like. No, like there's nothing. No, there's no break into dance. There's no the other nurse comes in and sings like a duet or anything. Like, no, it's just this person saying the thing.
Yep.
It was terrible.
Astrid Farnsworth is the character's name.
Yep. Side note, one of the upsides of watching these things on Prime as opposed to literally like every other streaming service is if you tap up on your remote, you get that X-ray vision and it gives you like cast info and cool stuff. So I do love that about Prime. Dude, this whole thing was a basket case of like, there's like 15 plots in this episode. There's the I'm high plot because I'm pissed about the Peter character bailing, right, or being gone or whatever. Right?
After the revealing of the episode, our best episodes, thing happening.
Right. There's that plot. There's the plot about we got to babysit this girl, right? And keep her occupied while Agent Olivia, whatever her name is, goes and does something else for a few hours.
Which is her niece. It's her niece
which is her
that
niece.
they have to babysit.
Yep. And a recurring character, I think. I think she's in a couple just based on what I was reading, I think.
Mm.
And then to kill time, they tell a story to the kid, which kicks into like flashback mode of like the other universe for reasons, but it incorporates elements of like the Wizard of Oz with like the mechanical heart. I got Wizard of Oz vibes with the scarecrow and the heart thing. With the Watchers being a secret society that are working for the evil billionaire, and but also Peter Bishop is a wanted criminal who stole the heart, but it wasn't really that he stole the heart; he was taking it back. Dude, I can't. Like, I can't, dude. I've got 10 pages of notes of how was so convoluted and stupid. And on top of that, and this is what I wanted to get out of you mostly for this episode, I envision Fringe as being mostly played straight up tonally. Like, it takes itself seriously. They get into some weirdo science stuff, but it's not Psych. It's not Scrubs. It's not Brooklyn Nine-Nine. It's not Reno 911. Like, serious show. Yep. This whole episode was stupid top to bottom with its tone. The whole thing.
It's tonal inaccurate to the flow of the series. It doesn't advance the plot of the overall arc, because we got to think, when you're talking about network TV back then, you had 22 to 25, 26 episodes a season, and it was one overarching arch, while each episode had its own arc to move the giant arc of the story. And this one kind of just like the arc just kind of fell in and then popped back up in the next episode.
Total bottle episode. It did nothing. It did nothing in terms of the big story.
You do refer to it as a heart murmur in this story arc.
Yeah. And much like a heart murmur, you don't want one. You want to go get that looked at.
Yeah.
But I can't even with this. Like, I'm looking over at the iPad now, and like it's weird, right? The retro future aesthetic that they had in this episode was so bad that I'm reminded, like, we just saw Fantastic Four. And I'm like, it worked in Fantastic Four. Here, it literally looks like they just went shopping at, like, you know, a sets.com or set with the T people.com. Mm-hmm. You know, same thing with costume. And they're like, what looks retro futuristic? Oh, here's a big T-shaped phone with a rotary dial for the desk for the billionaire to use. But she's literally got like a flat panel monitor next to it. You know, I like the guns that they shoot in the episode within the story. I'm like, okay, they're clearly based on like modern pistols, but the sound effect that they use in there makes it sound more pew pew. Yeah, I'm like, dude, none of this is good. I don't know how you dropped the ball. They dropped the ball and kicked it.
They try to go with a noir type story.
Oh yeah,
in color.
Dude. Oh my god, that was the worst part. The noir detective story where they put detective. I don't know her last name.
Olivia.
Olivia. I don't remember the last name. But Olivia is playing this hard-boiled detective. Dunham, thank you. Is playing this detective type who's investigating cases because she's a sucker for true love, who retired from the force, became a PI. Now she only takes those cases. Like, this kind of demonstrates why these stories don't work with like female-led characters in that genre of noir, because she gets beat up and kidnapped like 4 fucking times and like almost drowned. You know what I mean? Like, that resonated with me right off the rip, where I'm like, this show can get away with it in 2008 because we haven't been pounded over the head whereby that character would be successful in that venue without like stressing anything. It didn't work for me in this episode at all. Like, it's a noir story within a kid's story within an episode of Fringe. It's too much. It's the worst case of Russian dolls ever. I can't. It was awful, dude. But I have nothing good to say about this at all. Like, I was hoping at least the musical part would be fun. It's not. The performances are horrible. They're uninspired. They're not funny. They're not moving either.
It's not fun at all. All right, so the worst one was 6.8 out of 10 on the IMDb with 3.2 thousand votes. This was the worst episode.
You know what? Then the next worst one up then is only a little bit regarded a little bit worse. I have season 2, episode 11, Unearthed, which got a 7.0 with about 2,400 votes.
That is true. That is true. It's right here.
So they've got a couple of them down near the bottom that are swimming pretty low. So I get it. I get why this is it, though, man. It's too many things that are uninspired, unfun, no clear point of character I'm supposed to identify with. Little girl's a little jarring on a show that I think is that's supposed to be very X-Files like. I don't know. Anything else you wanted to add to the worst episode of Fringe ever? Because I'm already bored talking about it. This is the only time doing a worst of that I was bored watching the worst of episode, and I wanted it to be
all
over.
I could say on a positive note for this episode is that the dressing, the makeup, everything like that was very inspired to fit the times of a noir type story. But overall, it was straight dog crap.
Yep. So I think that's going to do it for us then, guys. That's the worst episode of Fringe. Go check it out. Like I said, it's available on Prime. I think it's also on Vudu. Yeah, stay away from the worst stuff. You really don't need to see it. But the best of was a lot of fun and might inspire you to go watch the rest of Fringe. So feel free to go check that out, and we will see you guys in the next episode of Best of Worst of. Let us know down below if there's a show you want us to take a look at. There, I said it this time. See ya.